YouTube, we are back at it again with Plu going first, actually going second with the Gravity Collapse. We saw Plu use this against Malice to win the duel very easily, but now in going second and up against a non-Malice deck, how lucky will Plu be? Let's find out. Thank you for watching as long as you can. Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Droll counters very easily the Mitsurugi deck. As we're going to search the deck, that's going to trigger the Droll, and just like that, no pre-preparation. Didn't even chain the prayers to search the deck. We could go into the Fiendsmith play, which if you want to counter Droll, you play Fiendsmith. But if you counter Droll of Fiendsmith, you then get Ash Blossomed onto the Requiem. I thought you do. You don't. You what, mate? Okay, why not? What are we holding the Ash for instead? Okay. Lacrima, Reborn back the Engraver, and there's now an Apollo USA. Let's see if we can play through that. Burn for 1200. Maxi on our turn, maybe? Okay. We have to deal with a triple disruption Apollo, negate the Primera from searching, chain the Emblema Oath to set up the field spell through the Apollo. Got him. Let's use the stand up, discard the Atri, put into the back row the Trudea special summon, activate to put itself in the back row, Apollo negates. But now the Apollo is small enough to attack over. That final negate is now gone, mate. And we can now set up the Gravity Collapse play. As long as we have a synchro, if they attempt to summon, we negate the summon, and then they cannot summon until the end of the turn. Ash, negate the prayers. No search for you. And with the Gravity Collapse, should be an easy win. Hopefully, you would think so. Collapse plus Primus, when can we use it? A Ritual Summon into the Murakumo, Collapse can't stop that. A Brilliant Fusion, Collapse can't stop that. Habakiri into Saji, Collapse can't stop that. Ritual can't collapse. It's like you can't collapse anything here, right? Well, that's the payoff. That's the risk. The risk is Collapse in many cases is just not going to be usable. High risk, high reward. Easy win against Malice, but against Mitsurugi, it's not going to be so good. Let's add back the Gargoyle. Let's draw a card with Legatia. Did not draw into a Maxi, unfortunately. Or even a Droll. Habakiri is here. Come forth further. If this gets wiped out by the Murakumo, then Collapse won't even be activatable. Plu's like, please, can you normal summon? If you normal summon, then I can negate the summon, and you can't summon a Murakumo. It's any summon when your opponent would summon. Just, bro, literally do that before you freaking summon the Murakumo. And he won't. Didn't even normal freaking summon. And now we lose the activation requirement of Collapse. Collapse is now dead, unless we have a Phalanx Engrave. Do we have Phalanx? No Phalanx to Reborn back. And just like that, we're screwed. Collapse is dead. Wait, it actually triggers. Woo, we have a chance. If a face-up Centurion leaves the field from the opponent's card effect, this will then, while in the graveyard, Reborn back on the field. Very well done. Discard to ensure it goes through. The Collapse is still ready to get collapsing. But we can't collapse that. And then we can't collapse that. Due to special summoned, what, 6 times we can't collapse? Can't do it, can't do it, can't do it. We can collapse. You're over, it's done. Collapse the duel. Negate the summon. No more special summoning for the rest of the turn. No more summoning. We finally got to collapse him. Now, if Collapse were more prevalent, we would have just went to battle to try to take it out, but doesn't Primus not get destroyed if summoned from the graveyard? Yeah, Primus, as long as it was not summoned from the extra deck, cannot be destroyed by battle. It actually worked out, and we're playing more than one Collapse? You freaking what, mate? Now, mind you, you can't say Collapse sucks, because we're going second. Of course, when going second, traps are not going to be that great. Now, the Primus cannot be destroyed by battle here. As long as it's from the graveyard. We're going to be discarding the Collapse to ensure that the Phalanx goes through to Reborn the Legatia, which will trigger on special summon to destroy. and draw a card. Activate, pop it, mate, negate the pop and draw, and destroy. Blue's like, I'm out of here. That's it. That's too much. Even with the Gravity Collapse being activatable, it was too late. Well, Yurievna has 0 hand traps to enable the triple tactics talent to draw 2, but the Atrai could still draw 1. Draw 1 into the Gravity Collapse will be the play. Let's get rid of our triple tactics talent. Trudea special summon, set up the Primera, come forth and summon, searching for the Phalanx. Let's wake up, summon our token, further going into the Auxilla to search our deck for another Primera. Normal the Atrai, draw into the Collapse off the top of the deck. Ain't no way. We are collapsing. When the opponent would summon, send a face-up synchro, negate the summon, destroy. Also, your opponent cannot summon a monster until the end of this turn. All the other effects don't matter. We could banish, we could negate, we could go into a Blazard mate, but most importantly, we can collapse them. Now, Phalanx is kind of weird here. Phalanx targets a monster to banish it. Senjin was not a monster, but Senjin, even though it's a continuous spell, is a monster card, and Phalanx says target a monster card. The card is a monster, even though it's a continuous spell. Collapse the normal summon. You can't summon for the rest of the turn. Look at that. The cross out on that. No normal, no special summon. This is a Mjolnir lock, just like that. Let's further go. Reborn back through the effect of the Phalanx, Trudea, special summon. This, if you want your deck to be good, a deck is only good if it's unfair. And if you can't think of a way in which your deck is unfair, then you have to make it unfair through adding cards like Gravity Collapse. Now, unfortunately, because this is a counter trap, you're not able to set it with a thrust. Just hard draw it. Easy peasy. Lubellion is here, setting up the Brain of Regain, Primera, grabbing the stand-up Centurion. Any non-Mitsurugi, Raziel, or Mouse deck has to play dirty. The Senjin says it cannot be destroyed by monster effects as the Baron DeFleur tried to pop it. Phalanx, let's reborn the Auxilla. Let's search on special summon. Boom, Crimson Dragon for lethal damage. Gravity Collapse for game. Incredible. Good job, Plu. Let's hop into game 3. How many copies? At least 2. I don't know if he plays 3 or more. More. Bakiri, we're going to Ash instead of negating the Saji. So this is actually a bait, mate, because we have the Saji in hand. What the? Got him. Now, the Ash has already been used, thus we have nothing left. Let's speed this up. Let's set, let's pop the Gargoyle. So no purpose of going into the Hollow Core was the way. We had the Brilliant Fusion, I guess, to turbo out a rank 4 Xyz to go into the Feral Imps to then search for your Mitsurugi cards. Our disruptions are, if we can get a card in hand, which we can through searching with the Mitsurugi, we can destroy a card in the field, we can negate a monster, negate a monster, negate a monster, negate a monster, negate anything with the Baron DeFleur, banish with the Little Knight, negate anything with the Purification. We can destroy cards in the field with the Murakuma. We can force them to discard. About 10 disruption. Yep, I think so. Let's go. We have a properly summoned Murakuma engrave, right? Yes, we do. Serenir, banish the Engraver here. Trudea alongside the Serenir into the Chaos Angel. Now, this is trouble, right? You think it is. It's actually not if we activate it. Well, actually, it's two dark monsters. So if we click on this, we could see it is protected from the other monsters, right? A light. Wait, is this bugged? Why is it not showing it properly? There now, when you click on it, it now registers. It does not have the benefit of being unaffected by monster effects, and it activating the banish will simply get negated and destroyed by Purification or the Baron DeFleur. Chain link blocked with the Serenir. You cannot negate, not negate, not negate. No negates for you, mate. We're gonna negate the Serenir. But the Apollo is now going to get banished. So we lose the Apollo negate on a Serenir, then we lose the other 3, so we're now down to 6 forms of disruption. We lose the Baron to 4, we're now down to 5 disruption. Only 5 disruption left. We then negate the triple tactics talent. We could use Ash to negate the effect of reborning. Let's go. Ash negate. Now, we needed that reborn to search to turn on the Abao. Abao's not turned on yet. So what are these 4 other disruptions? It's the Murakumo field wipe and the Murakumo discard, the Little Knight banish, and the Abao pop. But the Abao cannot pop unless we have a card in hand. So I don't think we could even really use it, but it does not matter. We were able to burn through 6 disruption and then we ran out of gas. Let's prayer our Murakumo onto the field here. Murakumo, wiping out the Chaos Angel, which we were coping hard with the collapse. If they were able to summon, we could then collapse them. And they did summon, but it was an effect to summon. It had to be an inherent summon through a normal summon, or a summon from the extra deck through Link summoning or Xyz summoning, Synchro summoning. Synchro, Link, Xyz. Fusion summoning would not work unless it's a contact fusion. Lethal damage 2 in 1. What is going on here? We have a Fiendsmith control deck against Malice. Malice with a bunch of bricks. No play whatsoever. We're going to end our turn with nothing. Set Impulse, then back to you. Okay. In our Fiendsmith control deck, we got Bystials, Fiendsmith, Primite, Ash negate the ability to search for the Drill Beam. We still have Maxi. We're going to be waiting for the Bystial activating. Barrel's going to send from the deck to the graveyard a Dippity, as we're now going to try to banish the Dippity. We chain Maxi. We cannot chain the other Bystial to dodge the Maxi since there's no monsters on the field. Ash negates, just like that mate. And now we're in a situation where, what do we impulse? Impulse negating a special summon is not going to destroy. We cannot negate the Bystial Lubellion. It does not activate the special summon. It's an inherent special summon from the graveyard. And we could impulse this. It'll stay in the hand. It will not banish. It will not trigger the regain to draw an additional card. But we badly have to top deck into a 1-card combo. How many cards can we top deck into? 9. If we're not counting Allure of Darkness. Outside of Allure of Darkness, there's only really like 9 good cards that are 1-card combos here. That is one of them. This card is playable at 3. And just like that, let's make our plays. Regain triggering, reborn back from the engraved the Magnum Hut. We did not want to impulse that. It would destroy it. It would stop them from using the other effects of... Here's the thing about Regained. Regained is a form of disruption only against Malice, and only when it's not your turn. When it's not your turn, I mean, we're probably just going to see it, then I'll explain what happens. We're going to see it right now. So what's happening? Turn player optional trigger is going to be the lower chain link. Non-turn player optional trigger is going to be the higher chain link. And the higher chain link regained is going to return back the lower chain link back in the deck before it could even summon. So we're going to see that right now. There you go. Activate. Brain regained. Return it back, mate. That is our disruption play. Well done. The Ghost Spell can negate the March Hare. The Ghost Spell can also negate a field spell. Negates. Scoop it up, mate. Just like that. Well done. If we could get the March Hare in graveyard, we already used up our normal summon. We could use the Wizard to reborn it back and then pop off. There's a chance that we are playing Baldrake. Meaning we could cross out dead. I mean, we are playing it, but it's in our hand. Even better, using the opposing Baldrake to stop our own Baldrake from banishing. Now, the chances of playing another Baldrake in the deck, zilch. There's no way. No one's playing more than one Baldrake in Malice. I could double check it. Let's see. If I can find one person doing it, we're going to get pissed. Let's see. Baldrake. And if we look at Malice, 4% are playing at 2. Who are you? Who's doing that? Name and shame. In the past 2 weeks, we'll just look. So we're going to do Baldrake Star 2. Exactly 2. There's 3 of them right here. A tournament topping deck. the Challenger Cup, of course. They would be playing 2 Baldrake in that event. Wow. All right. I'm kidding, Konami. No, actually, I'm not. Or we have non-target banish, banish from the grave, negate and banish anything, return up to 3 cards back, which are monsters from our own grave or their field. We could return back a hand trap to make it reusable. We could Baldrake banish, then banish an extra deck monster. We could also negate a special summon with the impulse. We could negate with the ash, like 9 to 10 disruptions, maybe cross outs, even a disruption here potentially. No ad for you, just like that. What did we also Cryptor banished already, so we're down to what, 7 disruption? Typhon? Well, what the heck are we gonna do? We're gonna GWC, White Rabbit, set MTP, non-target banish before you even activate. It just like that, mate. Typhon is plan L. Add it, wipe it. And we still have so much more. All right. Regained is going to be returning back successfully. White Binder is going to come back onto the field and draw another card. This is why the mouse combo is draw 4. We just drew into a Droll Lockbird, another disruption. You draw 3 on your turn, the 4th card on their turn. Balance. We should have had a Banless on Tuesday. I don't know why it's now Sunday and we got nothing. Fool loss in response to the Lurie before it goes into the Requiem. Finger the Ua. Not today. So what are our plays? We have the backup Ignister play with Call by the Grave to potentially protect us. We could set MTP with the Chessie. That is also a play. This is not bad. Set MTP normal Chessie and then go from there. What can No Name do through these multiple plays? Fiendsmith Desiree will be able to non-target negates. Will Drill Beam be activatable? So right now it's not. Negate up to 5 cards in the field. Now it is. Ooh, buddy. What the heck do we have here? We could hit them with the Max C, but beyond the Max C, because it's not a disruption, we have non-target negate with the Desiree. We have the Fiendsmith Paradise, which can non-target send the entire field to the graveyard. We have Drill Beam, which can negate and banish a card in the field. And then, do we play a second Desiree? If we do, the second Desiree, we don't. So I don't think we don't have an inherent way to get Desiree in the graveyard to trigger to return a card or send a card in the field to the graveyard. So it's about 3 disruption. But they're big disruptions. Chessie, activate, chain Max C. Call by the Grave, finger the C. Are we Desiree negating both cards? Double negate. Drill Beam. Onto the call by, negate and banish, and it goes through. Just like that, we have double disruption left. The Max C play, this is the way. Are you willing to commit under Max C? And can you perform lethal damage? Forcing them to take the Max C challenge is the highest form of reward versus risk that you apply to your opponent, where it maximizes the chance of them making a ton of mistakes. The chance for player error goes through the roof. And it's even an error if you don't take the Max C challenge. What if you could have comfortably taken the challenge, set up lethal damage? He's not going to even risk it. Wow. Ending their turn. Baldrake is going to be banishing the Princess here. To battle we go, wiping out the Chessie. 5,800 damage, mate. We're going to be blocking the attack, putting it into attack position because it has piercing battle damage with the Ignumde. Huh? Link off the Requiem, trigger the effect of the Desiree to send the MTP to the graveyard. Now, MTP will obviously just chain and search. It's fine. Come to us, Dormouse. We're ready for the next turn. Requiem is going to be summoning into the Crimson Tear. Crimson Tear, send the Engraver here, Reborn back. Further, and Ptolemy, M7. We're going to target a card in the field or in the graveyard and return it back to the hand. We're going to be targeting a monster that is our Recycle Max C. If they were so easily able to end the turn under the effect of Max C, just do it again. Give us another guaranteed turn. They're at 3,100 life points. Can they survive another turn with a 5,800 attack, scratch that, 7,000 attack with the Requiem and piercing battle damage? We win next turn if they are going to pass the Max C. Kraken, you have to take the Max C challenge. I think so. There's no way to survive this. It's going to get boosted by Requiem and have piercing battle damage, and they have the ability to non-target negate up to 5 cards on the field, and they could Paradise, non-target send the entire field to the grave. Double disruption is what you have to play through. We have to. We gotta do it. He's gonna draw into a card that could stop the Maxi. We have the Maxi now. Flame on! Are you ready? I think we're not on YouTube. I can play the music, right? Let's go. Let's set this up. Let's get it going. Are you ready? Do we have the balls to go all the way? I think we have to. It is a huge mistake if we pass. Let's go. Droll and Lockbird, what the? Ain't no way. What the? This was supposed to be a Maxi challenge. You drew into a Droll? Shoot. We still have non-target negate and the Paradise Mate. Lingaribo can now negate the Paradise unless we preemptively negate with the Desiree. Dormouse banishing the March Hare. March Hare add back to the hand here. Let's further link into the Link Decoder. 3 bodies with one of them being Link Decoder is our default play. Let's White Binder. Banish from either player's graveyard. Trigger the effect of the Link Decoder. Reborn back onto the field. Say goodbye to the Engraver. Let's Chessie summon itself back. Turn all the 3 of these bodies into the Cryptor. Your Desiree is untargetable. The Cryptor is a non-target banish, and the Cryptor can be negated because it's pointing to nothing. But we could dodge the negate with GWC Mate by banishing it off the field when you attempt to negate. Uh-oh. Let's do it. We have to Desiree attempt to negate. GWC, dodge the negate. It is over, mate. What do we do? What do we do? We can't even use the Paradise. Paradise is now dead. Target a level 7 or higher Light Fiend you control? Well, that does not exist. So we lost both of our disruptions from a Cryptor GWC combo. Let's speed this up. Droll won this, right? What do y'all think? Droll forced the Maxi to stop. It no longer was a Maxi challenge thanks to the Droll. Unbelievable. And Malice wasn't really playing Droll until Bryzeal and Mitsurugi came out. So thanks to Mitsurugi, we have the Droll to stop your Maxi. Non-target ban. Ooh, that's now activatable. You turned it on. But it's still not going to be good. Wipe it. 12,000 damage. Lacrima burn for 12. Woo, this is close. 1,800 life now down to 6. We're going to negate. Negating the burn. You will not be burning me. That could have been a surprise lethal damage. 11,000 damage. Finish him. All right. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Orchist, Sky Striker versus Voiceless Fiendsmith. We're going to be Ash Blossom negating the Saphira from searching for a ritual monster here. We're going to follow up with the low, setting up the barrier. Barrier searching for the Skull Guardian that we would have searched. We're now going to use Saphira to banish and ritual summon into the Skull Guardian. Are we like gonna use Masquerena into an Abao reborn back the Desiree, or we have actually the Lacrima reborn back the Agnumde, which will then reborn back the Desiree. So the Masquerena is possibly up to 2 forms disruption, maybe more. We could negate with the Skull Guardian. We could also reborn back the Desiree right here. The Desiree will be able to negate anything, and then Desiree with the Masquerena could be sent to the graveyard to send a card from the field to the graveyard, about 5 forms of disruption. Cross out, designate Lacrima Crimson Tear. Trying to banish our own Crimson Tear, stopping them from reborning the Desiree, which is 2 additional disruptions. For 1 cross out designate, it made sense to try to negate. 5 disrupt is back. 2, 4, 5. Engage is going to grab the Hornet Drones. Well, we could target the Masquerena. Well, I mean, I was thinking Widow Anchor was in my mind, but we could still try to Widow Anchor with the Engage. Desiree is going to be negating the Horde Drones. Now, the Engage is going to be adding from the deck the Widow Anchor. Now, there's a small little detail here. Negate the effects of a monster, then take control of it. You can't negate something that's already negated, since it's now negated. You also can't drill beam it, since it is negated. John, are you talking about the in-game music? Thank you. So you can't drill beam Desiree, you can't Widow Anchor Desiree, but the Desiree is already untargetable thanks to barrier, but if there were no barrier, that is an extra purpose for negating it. The Widow Anchor will be Widow Anchoring the Masquerina, or at least attempting to do so. So with our 4 forms of disruption left, we're going to link this off into the Abao. I suspected that there was going to be some sort of an Abao play here. The problem is, what are we left with? We just have Abao. Abao's going to reborn from the graveyard of the Sarvis. We only have 1 disruption left. The ability to negate a special summon and banish it. If we summon Sarvis Ritual, we could target it though, right? This is a problem. Or the Low's gonna come back actually. Low's gonna make it untargetable. Low's gonna set up the trap, so now we have even more forms of disruption. We can negate a special summon. We could also pop 2 cards in the field. Double disruption, thanks to the Low reborning back after being used at Masquerina, then performing a ritual play. Well done. Come forth. Now, it's important to note that the Low does not need to be part of the ritual summon to reborn back. Negate and banish the sequence. This was very well done. We had Ignumde reborn back with the Crimson Tear, Masquerina into Abao to reborn the Sarvis, to summon a ritual monster to trigger the Low that was sent there through the Masquerina to get use of the Low to then set up the trap. Damn. Normally you need a blessing to trigger the Low during the opponent's turn. All right, Lancia in the draw phase, which Lancia is good against Orchist. Now, it's not going to do so much against Fiendsmith. Fiendsmith giving us protection from Lancia, Droll, it does not matter. See, we have Droll, and it's just not going to be activatable. Now, it may potentially be activatable if we summon the Fiendsmith Lacrima, add back the Engraver to then search for Attract, which we may end up be doing here. We're going to reborn it back instead. We now have Apollo. Apollo, Lacrima, get Burnin', and triple monster negate, Imperm, and Droll. 5 forms of disruption. Let's activate the barrier, attempting to search the deck to get hit by the Droll. Just like that. Negate. Not negate, but no more adding mates. Sarvis is simply bigger than Apollo. 2,600 attack, left with just an impermanence left. Wow. What a freaking top deck. We have to Lancia. Lancia is going to be very important. Sarvis will be in response activating to the Gursu. We're also going to Lancia, ensuring that whatever they send from the deck to the graveyard will not be banishable. Send the Harpoorer. We're going to Imperm negate the Sarvis because you don't have a Low on the field. With Low on the field, it would have made the Sarvis untargetable. We're going to put a token onto both sides of the field. But how much can we do under the effect of Lancia? We lose so many plus plays. Now, the Engraver is still rebornable. Let's reborn it back. Engraver is here. Engraver further link off into the Requiem. Requiem, we're under the lingering effect of the Imperm and the Lancia. We're going to use the Requiem, attach to the Engraver, send it to get rid of the Sarvis that was negated, as we now go into the Fiendsmith sequence. Sequence is going to be fusing the graveyard into the Lacrima fusion, target the Engraver, reborn it back, to battle we go. Is that lethal damage? Yeah, we just send the Lacrima to the grave. That's game. 800 life into the Enlil Gursu, burn for 1,200. Back-to-back Lancia was not enough to stop Orchis because they play Fiendsmith. Well done. We're going to Saphira, activate to search our deck. Now, we have a ruling question here pertaining to the previous duel with the Sarvis. Sarvis is going to be negate the summon if you do banish the monster. If you're already under the effect of Lancia, you're not able to negate the summon and banish, but if you chain Lancia to the Sarvis effect already activating, it will still be able to negate the summon and it will just go to the graveyard instead. All right, so I don't know the order where Lancia was resolved and us negating the Sarvis, if we even had to negate it, right? I have to rewind back and remember. Let's further equip. And what do we have here? We have Lancia. We could call it the Grave, try to finger, but if we try to finger, we could negate with the Skull Guardian, or we could negate with the Desiree. We also have Droll. So we have about 4 forms of disruption if we're counting the Lancia, locking them out, which you definitely should count that. Lancia, called by. Finger the Lancia. Desiree is going to negate the finger. Negate. We're going to negate ourselves also, so you're not able to do the other plays I mentioned previously. So we're now down to double disruption, the Droll and the Skull Guardian. Kagari, on summon, add back. Do we destroy? Negate and destroy? We do not. Add back the Hornet Drones. What is this accomplishing? Well, full combo is 2 bodies. 2 bodies is Phoenix. Phoenix goes into Mermaid. Mermaid goes into full combo. Discard the Harp Horror, pop on the back row barrier. The monsters are now targetable. Mermaid is going to discard a special summon. When do we want to negate and destroy? Now we're negating and destroy. We're negating and destroying the Crimson Tier. Interesting. Negate and destroy, and now from here we're going to pop off into our own Fiendsmith plays. We have the Nightmare, which could plus a body in the field, the Harp Horror, which could plus 2 bodies in the field, could at least plus 3 bodies. We can make the Link one, which can additionally reborn itself from the graveyard to but that's if we weren't under the effect of Lancia. Lancia. So if we didn't have Lancia, we had plus, 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 and because we can't do that under the Lancia, all those pluses are gone to showcase how important Lancia is against this deck. Damn. Gamma's being played. Raccoon to trigger the Desiree to send the Engraver to grave, and then we should wham bam thank you ma'am them. Why did we win the duel? Lancia. Lancia for Malice, and then also the additional benefit of against Orchist, which gives you all further the excuse on why you should play Lancia. Stop letting Malice be the best freaking deck because you all are not playing Lancia. Let's reborn the Raccoon from Engrave, tribute, summon for the deck, the Crimson Tier, send the Engraver here, to battle we go, and this is enough. We could just send the Lacrima, burn for game, if needed. Lethal damage. We have the Mitsurugi Ritual, Malice versus Mitsurugi, and this is pure Mitsurugi, no other nonsense. Yes, you want to impulse the Ritual. That is what you impulse. It's gonna generally stop them from getting the Kusanagi, from adding it back. It stops both uses in most cases. Now we do have the Chaos Hunter waiting for on special summon. If they special summon and we summon Chaos Hunter, what's their out to the Chaos Hunter? Well, Impulse is the out. And if we don't have a trap in the graveyard, it would not destroy it. And if it would not destroy it, is Chaos Hunter summonable again? Yes. So the fact that we had the trap to ensure it gets destroyed ensures that it would not just activate on a separate special summon. Let's go. We got Chaos Hunter again. Summon the Saji, Ash, negate the Saji through the Habakiri. Ooh, we have Chaos Hunter again. And we have Fualas and Ash. Now the Lamia, what does this do? On normal summon, add the Habakiri, which is a once per duel. We already had Habakiri, so we didn't even bother, and it would turn off our Fualas. Under the effect of Fua, we did not finger Fua. We're holding on to our finger for something else. That is some good finger discipline. Are we fingering their Ash? No, I'm gonna cross out designate the Ash. I am still holding on to my finger. I do not give it up easily. What are we gonna end up fingering though? Let's add the March Hare, banish, draw 2. Ooh, that is ending our turn. Double finger in the MTP. When playing against pure Mitsurugi, I would think their chances of lethaling you in one turn is less likely compared to the other versions. And just like that, adding a brick from the deck, that's no good. The Lamia is supposed to just be adding Habakiri for the once per duel. But if the once per duel gets met with a single Ash, then the Lamia is just becoming bricks. So brick, 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 brick. All we have is Chaos Hunter. And what's the out to the Chaos Hunter? How do we stop the Chaos Hunter? Here it is. Chaos Hunter's the way. In response to the Chaos Hunter being summoned, as once it hits the field, we're no longer going to be allowed to banish for the rest of the turn as long as it's face up. Well, it's not turn 1, so we could go to battle to just simply attack over it. We could reverse its attack and defense by having the red ransom point to something, or it's simply already bigger because of the Dormouse. Dormouse will plus 600 all your bodies. And now it just doesn't matter. Yeah, battle. Okay, nice try. It's supposed to be used on turn 0. This is not like, oh crap, take this out of your deck. All right, we have Apollo, main phase 2. Let's build up our field. Our hand right now is a brick and a brick, double brick. We have to draw into something. But if they're gonna have multiple disruptions for our 1-card something play, I mean, we know it's over. We could, Funky should do the right thing. Allow Dailingo to pick up his deck and add any cards to the hand. I've done it all the time in TCG. It's a good way to establish dominance, and you'd still win. All right, Hard Scripter. On target banish the Lamia. It's main phase 2, so we're not ending it here. White Binder. Damn, Funky is really driving that knife deep into Dailingo. I'm gonna be honest. I sensed a little bit of salt from Funky because of the opponent playing Chaos Hunter. That's why he was saying that Duel 1 was so close. I'm just calling it as I see it. And he's out. 2-0 victory. Voiceless versus Malice begin. Why play Voiceless? It should be for the Malice matchup. It's all because of Sarvis. Being able to negate a Link 3 summon and make it improperly summoned once it gets banished, that is the way to definitively win. We're going to be activating the Impulse. Impulse in response to the Ritual spell attempt in Ritual Summon. That's okay, we're going to follow up with the 1-for-1, send the Skull Guardian into the Lurie. Let's turn this into a Requiem and pop off from here. Crimson Tears, send the Engraver here, return back the Lurie. Let's now make these 2 bodies into the Fiendsmith sequence. Let's return Engrave into the Lacrima, Fiendsmith, target the Engraver, return it back onto the field, turn these 3 bodies into an Abow. Let's get Abowin. Abow is the much cooler summon. Now, with the Abow, we do have Droll, and we can pop a card on the field. With the, isn't the Abow gonna be much more interesting, right? It's kind of like a Dynamundo. It's gonna reborn the Skull Guardian if it were properly summoned, so that would be a TCG play, which we can't do. That's actually illegal. We lose out on that. Whoops. I guess it's just a single disruption plus the Droll. What are we special summoning? Wait, we discarded Droll? We discard Droll to just summon Low. I guess the Low sets up the trap sets up the Sarvis goes into the Ritual to then try to negate a summon. That could be a play, right? And the Sarvis in hand is the card that we want to do. So we're gonna go Blessing instead. On their summon, we'll trigger the Sarvis special summon from the hand. Okay, so our 1 form of disruption this turn, this is it. If they link summon, we win. We just banish it. Sarvis hard tanks Malice. At least that's the theory. This is it. Negate the summon. It will banish it. It will make it improperly summoned. It's not going to come back. Well done. The problem is if they could play through that, which it looks like Funky's playing right through it. He does not care. Okay, I could -3 and still clap your cheeks. Okay. Red Ransom, Chainlink Block with the Link Decoder. And it's -3 bodies. This is not like -3 out of the hand. -3 bodies in the field. No balanced normal deck should be able to make plays after losing 3 freaking bodies. Pop the back row, Blessing, Access Code Talker, Red Ransom, Banish, draw 2. Let's further go into the Splash Mage. Let's Reborn back onto the field. White Binder, Banish from either player's graveyard. Don't mind if I do. Banish the Splash Mage, take out the barrier, set up the GWC. Further make the Firewall Dragon. Firewall could bounce back Lacrima or the Low to the hand if we want. Let's White Binder come back. Now the Firewall could target multiple cards. Why not go for a game? We have game still? Why not return both back, then kill him, right? He forgot Impulse. Oh! He's under Impulse. He cannot activate Firewall Dragon. That was illegal. That was a TCG play if he wanted to activate the Firewall Dragon. Ain't no way. But that's okay. Let's reborn back the White Rabbit, and if you're not understanding that, Light, Earth, and Wind are not activatable, so even going into an Apollo would be no good. MTP, non-target banish. Well, the Abow cannot chain to the MTP unless we're in the main phase. Quick effect within the main, otherwise in the draw, it's no good. Further banishing 3 more cards in their graveyard. 7 cards banished. How awesome is that? Let's track to add the Lurie. Lurie send. We could hit them with the Droll if we want. We can call with the Gravefinger, the Lurie. And just like that, we're done. Game number 2. We have the Abow to pop a Reborn. We could pop a card in the field. We could negate a special summon with the Sarvis. We can negate anything with the Skull Guardian. About 4 forms of disruption. Did not impermanent the draw phase onto the Abow. The barrier does not protect it. That's kind of interesting. Okay. Should we have impermanent the Abow? Special summon the Sarvis, ready to negate a Link summon. We have the White Rabbits. We're gonna get poppin'. Take out the Chessie and the White Rabbit. Now, maybe we're assuming that the Sarvis will negate a Link and then we're gonna have an open field to then use the Imperm with afterward. Banish a March Hare, Chessie Cat, Reborn back. TB, Banish March, Summon Door. We could possibly pop the door before it activates with the Abow. We don't. GW, Banish, it didn't even activate it. Now it's gonna come back. Now we can activate it. Banish the March Hare. Link off into the Lingaribo here. As we're now gonna go into a Little Knight. Little Knight is what you have to do to force out the Sarvis, but does it force it out? I guess it does. We can't even target it because it's untargetable. Negate. It banished the Little Knight. Now we have the Abow and the Skull Guardian. Negate anything, pop anything. Or Reborn. We're gonna pop it. Taking out the Link Decoder, and just like that, with a follow-up negate after negating and banishing the Little Knight, taking this into game 3. This really is the last time for Apollo to get banned. It's now or never. And if very likely YouTube watching these duels right now as I'm talking about the ban list is after a ban list happened. So I'm gonna sound really stupid here. Let's draw 2. Or I'm gonna sound super smart because Apollo will be on the ban list. Whale. Monster negate, negate anything, finger, banish cards in the grave, Ash negates, Droll and Lockbird mate. We could Baldrake banish. We could then non-target banish. It's like 12 disruptions. Actually, we don't have the Cryptor, so it's just 11. GW, Reborn back the White Rabbit. There's nothing Renove could do. Outside of drawing Exodia here, like, come on. Non-target banish. We're also going to draw a card with the White Binder, which could draw into another, maybe. Yeah, what? Of course, we draw into an Impulse. Draw into another hand trap. Don't mind if I do. Holy shite. This is a problem. We have a non-engine problem in Yu-Gi-Oh! All non-engine should only be activatable if you control nothing. This is disgusting. Malice artificially gets boosted just from being able to draw an additional card. Draw 4 within your main combo, draw 3 on your turn, draw a 4th on their turn. Among those 4 newly drawn cards, being powerful non-engine to add on top of your already powerful combo, it's disgusting. Baldrake, banishing away Plan L, and then the lingering effect of you cannot summon for the rest of the turn still remains. Wow. As Funky said previously, close duel. Lethal damage. Gem Knight. Or is it? It's a 60 card super combo slop deck. We're gonna imperm negate the Diviner Mate. Well, that's why we play the Triple Tactics talent, but that is not a monster hand trap. We do have Max C, which we could respond to with the Triple Tactics talent here. We're going to Engraver, search for the Tract. Tract further searching for the Lurie. Lurie, discard that. Reborn the Lurie back. Chain the Max C. And this is what keeps the slop in check. If you have a deck filled to the brim with Endless Engine, you have to Max C, you have to Fool Us, and maybe sometimes Droll and Lockbird could stop them. Well, being kept in check with Max C, that's for sure should be the end of this duel, right? Well, let's find out. Further special summoning under Max C. We're gonna stop here, right? Baron to floor. No, you're not stopping. What is he doing? It's turn 1. Now, you can overwhelm your opponent with options, and then they could time out. It works. At least on the ladder, I do that all the time. But in a tournament, will Kraken crack under the pressure of having 20 different options in the hand, thus timing out? And then the anxiety goes to the roof. You don't want to look bad. You know the pressure's on you. We're going to Ball Drake, banish away the Engrave Crimson Tear. You tried to Reborn back. Were we trying to Chaos Angel? I think so. I think we wanted a Chaos Angel that would make the Baron to floor unaffected by monster effects. That would really mess things up. What's the best out to Apollo? Impermanence. You can't Imperm Apollo with a March Hare stuck in the back row. So we're looking at a triple monster negate plus a Baron to floor, Omni negate, and that's it. 11 cards in the hand. Will Kraken time out as we draw to banish the March Hare? March Hare, add back to the hand here. Normal the Dormouse, banish from the deck. We're not negating. I'm gonna negate the card that you are activating, the hard once return effect. Malice on the Mirror. I think we have to Baron to floor this. Ooh, this is getting spicy. We're gonna Magnum Hunt, which the Apollo cannot negate. And after this all resolves, we're left with 2 negates left. That's it, 2 monster negates. I think Kraken's got this. He's not going to be messing up. Now they're at 0. They're guaranteed another turn, though. Let's further make our turn 1 play. March Hare, there we go. Herald Orange Light to discard a fairy from the hand. We have no fairies in the hand, so that is absolutely dead. It's supposed to be used with the Gem Knight cards. Droll and Ash. We're going to Ash the Fiendsmith engine, and then Droll the Mitsurugi engine. Well, the Mitsurugi engine is actually brick, brick, brick. 3 bricks in the hand with just a Nibiru. That is unfortunate. Can we play through a Nibiru? Yes, we should be able to very easily. 2 summons. 3 summons. Blink this off. Link Decoder, 4 summons. And then Heart's Cryptor for the 5th summon. Nibiru before they summon the Apollo USA. We got a token over there into Link Spider. Link Spider now allows us to special summon the backup Ignister. We haven't even committed to a normal summon yet. Dead, dead, dead. Super dead. Oh boy. Yuri, I still want to play your D. I do. I'm impressed by it from the other duels. I like the Gem Knight engine to go into the rank 4 to search for the reptile. I think that's great. You know, I guess the Orange Light's okay, right? Do you play a way to search it? Do you play Ava, right? Ava, if this is searchable, I'm all for it. If it's not searchable, then I wouldn't like it. I think you do play Ava, though. 13,000 damage, lethal. Well done. 2-0. Let's go. Going second with Whoa, Malice versus Malice. Wowzer. Imperm negate the normal summon White Rabbit. We're going to cross out Designate, negate the Imperm. If they have more Imperms in hand, it would not be usable. We have Impulse to negate a summoned monster from the banishment. This would potentially be a good use against a Dormouse when it gets banished. So as soon as Dormouse happens, or even the Red Ransom when banished, that could be good. We're going to instead negate and destroy the Splash Mage because we had Imperm Engrave. Completely wiping out the field. They lose the Link 2, plus the body they were going to try to reborn. Let's follow up with the backup Ignister. Ash attempts to negate. Do we finger their Ash? Of course we do, mate, but they do have the follow-up Fool Us, which we could further finger. Good job, Funky. 2 fingers, 2 hand traps, finger them. Boom. Just like that. And we should now perform lethal damage. Lingaribo, Marcher, banish door, come back out onto the field. Come on, 8k damage, I know you could do it. White Rabbit set up the GW for the Makin, the hard scripter, and that's it, game. Attack, banish, reborn, attack, come back, 5600, attack, lethal damage. Well done. This alone getting banned is going to immensely balance the deck and the way you respond to the deck. Now, even after all that, stopping their turn early, we have double Apollo, and we do have the ability to non-target banish on top of the double monster negate. Ain't no way, mate. 4 forms of disruption. Let's negate the Chessie. Let's further make a Lingaribo. This is great if they did not have an Apollo to negate the Lingaribo, mate. Marcher, banish the Cryptor here. We're gonna be reborning it back. Cryptor's gonna non-target banish the Lingaribo. We're now down to 2 more forms of disruption. We have the MTP ready to non-target banish whenever we want. The Apollo's going to negate the effect of the Chessie Cat coming back. That's that. All right, conclude up this duel. Ash Blossom negate the Allure of Darkness, mate. Splash Mage reborn back. Let's further turn these 2 bodies into an access the codes. Boost, 5300. Let's pop away the field spell, come back. Funky starting off with our Mouse and Underground, banishing the Dormouse. We're going to use the Impulse to negate the summon back of the Dormouse mate. If you had a gold sarcophagus, then the Impulse would not be usable here. Wow, set 2 pass. Why? So a good question. Why did we max C? Because you can't max C after the resolution of Impulse. So it was actually a really smart idea to activate this before it's no longer good. Now, you could still normal summon it and turn it into an Almirage, but beyond that, it's trash. Now, will that have an impact on this duel? You have to remember that max C, Nibiru, Firewall Dragon, Apollo USA, and Droll and Lockbird are now not activatable for Kraken for the rest of this duel. This card does nothing in his hand. What else that was everything, right? Firewall, Apollo, Ash, negate the Maxi mate. Let's further link this up into Lingaribo, pin down the Impulse. Can't impulse this. Uh-oh. As we trigger the White Rabbit, reborn back, turn all 3 into the Red Ransom. Red Ransom, search for the Mouse and Underground, banish the deck. Will we impulse this? We do not. What are we gonna impulse instead? Interesting. Ooh, access code talker. It's too late. We held on to the impulse, mate, and ideally we'd want to impulse the Red Ransom. So I think we are in a scenario of pray to the gods for a coin flip. There's a 50% chance he pops the GWC, he triggers the Red Ransom, we impulse the Ransom, and then we maybe don't lose the game. This is the YOLO. This is it. 50-50. If Impulse gets popped, we lose. If Impulse doesn't, maybe we're okay. Oh, let's go. We're okay. Ain't no way. Red Ransom was gonna special banish from the deck, an additional. We stopped so much with this Impulse. It's crazy. Wow. Actually important to bluff face down cards. But doesn't GWC just attack for game? Yeah, it was funny, but we still lose. All right, welcome back, Red Ransom. Boom. 2-1 victory. Konami, I want to give some advice. Duels are more exciting when more things can happen. And by more things happening, that doesn't mean how many actions you make on turn 1. That's not things happening. That's a single turn 1. And then usually Turn 2, pretty much nothing happens and they win. And then that essentially only one thing happened. They did something turn 1. When we have these weird interactions like, oh, we may pop this and then this will use this and this, maybe we'll swing the duel. That's things actually happen that rarely happens with the new freaking meta of just malice and all this nonsense. So please, let's go back to that. Boom. Wow, ain't no way. Malice is the best deck again. That's crazy. Centurion, what is going on there? I gotta look at the Centurion decks. How did this randomly do kind of decently well? What the heck? Let's click on Centurion. Plu, well, Plu was clapping people with the gravity collapse. So good job, Plu, on that crazy idea. Really great against Malice. Just easy win if you go first, and of course, just hard draw this. Good job, Plu. There's the main and the extra. And then Marco. Good job, Marco, with the Ancient Fairy version of Centurion. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Just did well enough to get top 16. Good job. Drytron, Honda powered. Easy wins because of Andy Ruler. I think a lot of our games are probably won due to this. And you know what? Blame the game, not the player. If this is good enough to be winning games with, then I want you to be using it. So good job, Honda powered. There's the extra. Good stuff. Branded. Yusuf. Yusuf has new branded support to be used soon. 50 cards. Good job, Yusuf. Beansmith Control. No name. Well done, no name. No Lancia. People are just refusing to play Lancia. They don't care. Okay, Mouse the best deck. So what? I'm not playing Lancia. Okay. Voiceless Voice. We got 2 Lancias up in here. Renove. Renove was going all in with a bow all day. No Apollo, none of that nonsense, not even going into a little night, just straight up a bowing it up. And a bow would reborn the Lancia. Diviner could send Lancia from the deck to the grave to make it rebornable. Good job, Renove. Raziel Mitsurugi. Johnny Chappelle. In Raziel Mitsurugi, still playing, I mean, it's a 60-card Raziel Mitsurugi deck. Crazy. Ogdoadic, searching for the fossil Dyna. You're an absolute mad lad. I need to be trying this out. Well done. And then Kawaki. Kawaki, 45 cards. And then we have the extra deck here. This reminded me of, there's actually not a bug, but an issue. There is an issue. The issue is last week or 2 weeks ago, someone said my Psychic End Punisher would not work. And I did find out why. I did test it myself. Konami incorrectly is not triggering a public trigger effect. That's only the ones that activate the start of the battle phase. Every other public trigger effect is activatable with the toggle off, but if anything triggers at the start of the battle phase, it still has a trigger effect. You have to have your toggle on auto or on, or it will not activate. That is wild. So Konami, good job, billion-dollar company, being a piece of shite. So do make sure you don't fall for that. All right. And mind you, to help you understand a cool play with this, if you wanted to be cool, you could get to the start of the battle phase, and then you could perform your Xyz summon right then and there. You may be thinking like, why would I do that? Well, on the opponent's turn, so you need your toggle on for this. Your opponent enters the battle phase. It has to be the S part of the battle phase. Then you could use your pulse, your Raziel pulse hole, some plasma hole, and then you could activate it to summon the full armored Utopic Ray Lancer at the start of the battle phase, and then it will trigger right then and there. You're not missing the timing, you're not missing the moment. It's not like right when you enter the battle phase, it's within the start of the battle phase, this will be triggerable. So it kind of feels like it's a standby phase. Good job. Good job to both of you. Kawaki. And then Orchist. With people not wanting to play Lancia, okay, let's have fun with some Orchist. Good job, Mohammed. I'm a big fan of Orchist. We have Fiendsmith, Sky Striker with Orchist, and then Boda with Millennium instead of Sky Striker. Millennium, Fiendsmith, Orchist. Thank you, thank you. And then Pure Mitsurugi. Let's look at this first. P-Jim, 44 cards. And then Yuri Evna with 20 different engines. Let's see this. Yuri freaking Evna. Fiendsmith Millennium. Got pre-prep with the Brilliant Fusion. Oh, Machis, can you see this well enough? I guess my face is now blocking this a little. You could pretty much see everything. Yeah, the Abao right next to me. Okay, nice. And then we have, so we looked at this already. I want to try this deck out also. What else? What else? And then the Malice decks. Anything interesting about Malice? Probably not. Triple Droll, no Lancia. TB11 up in here. There's no TB here. Big Hand. And then Funkinator. Looking standard. I'm not even looking at the extra. I'm just looking at the main. If there's anything out of the ordinary in the extra, you can let me know. And this is also looking pretty damn standard. So there you go. Good job to everyone. Let's do the check. The checks. What are the checks? Well, let's see. October 26th is the day of today. Yes. This is showcasing correctly. Lancia check. More Lancias than last week. Good job. We have one Lancia, one Lancia, one Lancia, two Lancia, three Lancia. P-Jim is doing his part. Two Lancia, and Yuri Evna on two Lancias. Some people are willing to go up to two. And then let's look at Droll. I think everyone played Droll. That's 12 out of 16 decks played Droll. And how many played it at 3? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 16. Half of the decks played triple Droll, including 3 spots in the top 4. And what's the tier list looking like? I am shocked by this. I didn't think that Pure Mitsurugi would be going up there, but I think, you know, wow. That is definitely something. Good job to the Pure Mitsurugi players not wanting to have to play the Ryzeal version of it. Okay. And the funny thing is the Ryzeal version's only going to get worse. This is going to get hit by the ban list. The next ban list, Ryzeal is getting hit. So, thank you all very much. Let's go.